Hello everyone and welcome back to my Beyond the Gates 24 official YouTube channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. We pick up at the restaurant, where Anita and Vernon are fueling up before the big night ahead. They'll need all their energy if they want to make it through Nicole's fate. Plus, they agree it's nice to sometimes come out from behind the gates and return to their roots. Meanwhile, Dani hates scrolling through Bill and Haley's honeymoon snaps, but she's determined not to let it ruin her night, or Nicole's. In fact, she makes it clear that she's married to making the evening a huge success. Little does she know, Leslie is also hoping for a successful night, albeit not in the Richardsons' favor. She and her golden toupee have landed a catering gig at the fete, putting her within range to expose them in front of their entire community. At the sanitarium, Eva is surprised to find Martin in Nicole's office, and she snappily impresses him with her knowledge of his political career. She gets fresh Richardson love from Ted and Nicole, who contend that she joined them at the fete as their guest. At their table, in Kat's dress. As she tries on the gown and daydreams about life as a Richardson, we wonder who's going to detest this further, Kat or Leslie? That's when the Dupree's substantially affable evening begins to take several unfortunate turns. First, Vernon receives an unwelcome phone call from someone. And flashback when we said Dani wasn't letting Bill and Haley ruin her night? Well, that only lasts for about 5 twinkles. When Naomi enters her mama's bedroom, she finds her screaming and preparing to smash her tablet against the wall. It's like you're a junkie for pain, Naomi tells Dani, a sentiment Anita supports as she and Vernon enter the house right on cue. Leslie, excuse us, Sherry is impressed with her capability to insinuate the fate, but her palm party is snappily crashed by Eva, who's furious with her mama for going back her word. Leslie manages to move Eva that the whole thing is simply a coexistence, but that's only because she's detracted by Andre. Who could condemn her for not allowing straight? Speaking of Andre, he wastes no time hopping aboard the Dani train the moment it enters the station. That dress is everything, he tells her. I would love to see you out of it. A lower man could no way pull off a line that inelegant. All hail the power of Andre Richardson. After taking a many family prints, Martin is approached by a friend who tells him about a major job occasion for Smitty which Martin takes upon himself to turn down. Martin's night is further rocked by Vernon, who's angry with his grandson after catching wind of his presidential intentions. Vernon shoots the notion down incontinently, reminding Martin that his secret would nearly clearly be exposed by the press, which is commodity the family couldn't survive. Martin shrugs it off, averring that his secret is long buried. Ted's million bone smile is incontinently wiped from his face when he approaches the bar for a drink and gets Leslie rather. Hear up, Teddy boy, she says. A job is a job, and this one pays enough well. His pitfalls to destroy her also fall on deaf cognizance, as she's formerly been there, survived that. Speaking of surviving effects, Dani successfully introduces Vernon ahead of his speech with absolutely no drama unfolding whatsoever. Considering the last major event at this country club ended with Dani opening fire, we'd call that relatively the enhancement. Too bad Nicole slightly gets to hear a word of Dani's speech. Sherry brings a drink to the Richardsons' table, virtually taking Nicole's breath down, and Eva takes notice. You've got to go, she says, pulling her mama away. But Leslie wouldn't be dissuaded. I've got drinks to serve, she sneers as she returns to the regale. Unfortunately for Leslie, her master gets a tip from a certain someone that she's carrying unprofessionally with guests, so he throws Sherry out on her butt. Bill shows up and says he misses the Dupree family gatherings with a speech from Queen Anita. He asks about Dani and his daughters go after him. Bill addresses Martin saying he can spin this event to his advantage since he's financing a bill for new inmates. With that, Martin gets up in Bill's face when Smitty gets in between them and pulls him back. After they walk down, Vernon says Dani's charges will go down that veritably night. Bill says Chelsea's videotape will be the evidence which keeps her mama confined. Just also, Haley arrives on the scene. Haley can't believe Bill is pushing the issue. He walks her down as Chelsea tells Naomi it appears there's no woman their father can't piss off. Bill tells Haley he didn't betray her, but she can't understand why he's moving forward with pressing charges. She tries to make him understand how he's making her the villain. She thinks he's still holding on to Danny and says his need to win is more important than her. Bill says everything is done with Danny. Haley tells her hubby to prove him wrong and make the charges vanish. Sherry asks Nicole to keep the door cracked before they get to talking. Sherry says she came depressed after her hubby left and mentions he and his new woman live right there in city. Nicole notes the pain is accessible. As Ted listens in, she continues saying she'd love to see the look on his face when, after everything he did to her, she wins. Nicole wants to keep their exchanges going, but Sherry thinks it's a bad idea as it'll only remind her of being at her smallest point. Nicole gives Sherry a list of therapists she can recommend and promises to remain available is demanded. Sherry thanks her for everything and makes her exit. Leslie runs into Ted, who can't believe she's showing out at the sanitarium with his woman. They make their way around the corner and Ted warns her to not mess with Nicole. She thinks she's getting great vengeance after Bill left her for Nicole. Denier emerges as the charges have now been dropped and she's free to go. Danny goes at Bill, but he says she has Haley to thank. Haley says she's so sorry Danny had to witness indeed one further nanosecond of anguish. Danny says Haley is responsible for everything. Haley says she doesn't remorse loving Bill but regrets everything Danny has been through. Anita interjects and takes Danny home. Jacob asks Naomi if he's okay to come home. She wishes he'd given her a heads up. Jacob explains he did what he allowed was right. Naomi thinks he could have trusted her in the moment and notes how she doesn't trust him now. With that, she makes her exit. The entire family returns home. Vernon asks about Nicole and Martin says she was caught up with a case. Vernon thanks both Smitty and Martin for their help at the station. Smitty tries to reason with Martin, but he continues to be in burrow. Smitty pulls Vernon away and tells him how upset he was to see how Martin went after Bill. Vernon placates Smitty, saying Martin was expressing a healthy dissent and there's nothing to worry about. Danny thanks Naomi for being the stylish counsel ever but hopes she didn't beget problems with Jacob. Naomi blames Jacob but Anita interjects saying he can't be anticipated to make defenses for their family. Naomi doesn't concur and decides to make her way out. Bill says they had an affair and he paid her off. He now wonders what she wants. Leslie says she wants respect and thinks if he can't handle that, she'll be forced to bespeak an appointment with his woman. Ted doesn't understand why she's in city but promises to destroy her. Leslie thinks her teddy bear needs to consult a good therapist. Ted arrives in Nicole's office, and they talk about her experience on the rooftop. He asks questions and she reminds him about confidentiality. Leslie is back on the rooftop talking to Eva about her night. Eva is freaked out to learn her mama spoke to both Ted and Nicole. She said she demanded to probe the situation and can't stay for Ted to find out everything about Eva. Naomi arrives home to talk to Jacob. She can't let go of feeling like her hubby sided with her father. Jacob says they no way go to bed angry, but she decides to exit the room and tells him to sleep on the settee. Bill and Haley arrive home. Haley tells him, if they're important, he'll need to let go of his vendetta against Danny and the Duprees. However, she'll start packing, if he can't. Danny tells Chelsea her father is in burrow but is still her daddy. She wants her daughters to predicate their relationship with their pater on how he treats them and not her. Anita tells Danny how proud she's of her son. Danny tells her to hold up as she's unclear why Bill did what he did. She doesn't understand why she let him go and also he brought charges. Anita notes Haley talked Bill down but Danny thinks Bill is trying to get her attention back. She says she loves Bill and is ready to take him back in a twinkle.